Okay, take two, art post number 17. So I've started on a new film project. I'm currently in pre-production. I'm working on the research phase of it, and it deals with St. Patrick's Day. And for a number of years, I've been looking for a project and an approach into St. Patrick's Day in Corktown. I'm very much interested in how the landscape has changed in Corktown, and how do you reveal the story of the Irish experience in Corktown when so much of it has changed over the years, through development, through just, it was a ghetto, and the housing was poor quality and really didn't, in most cases, wood frame structures. So how do you get into that story? How do you explain what life was like, and to show people the current urban landscape and try to give them a sense of seeing what they see today, what was it like 100 years ago. So my into the telling of Corktown, the story of Corktown in Hamilton, is a Spectator article that came out in 1953. Back in 1953, a reporter sat down with what they call the Little Irish Ladies. These were four elderly ladies. I believe they were all in their 90s. One was 96, one was 91, and they were reminiscing about their experiences being the first generation Irish in Hamilton. The parents had come over in the 1840s and 1850s, and they were born generally in the latter half of the 1850s and the early part of the 1860s. And because of their long age, they were able to reminisce to a reporter in the early 50s about that experience. Now that's over 60 years ago. So they were talking about their experiences 60 years earlier, so we're having we're reaching back 120 years. And so I picked one woman named Sarah Ann, and Sarah Ann was born in 1856. No, I've just forgotten, I'm sorry. So she was born in the 1850s, and she reminisces with the other ladies about Corktown. Now, one of the things I like about this is when you go to official publications, official histories, there's the official history and then there's the personal history. There may have been World War II, World War I impacted people, and that was reflected in their lives and how they shaped it. But by and large, the larger events of the world, while we're aware of them, don't really come into play. So it was interesting to hear what features and organizations they felt were important to them, what streets people they associated with Corktown, what institutions they felt were important. It's sort of the small things about having to walk to Dundas to get Sunday Mass because there wasn't a Catholic church at the time available to them. Then the building of St. Mary's Cathedral in 1856 changed that. They could walk locally. And then as more churches, Catholic churches were built, St. Patrick's and St. Thomas, that gave them other options as far as where they could go for service. Different local institutions, Dan O'Sullivan's grocery store, and then friends and neighbors that they met, and where they lived within the Corktown community, that sort of thing. So it's a very short article. It's not a featurette thing. It's just something. There must have been some occasion where these four old ladies got together, and somehow the Spectator was invited to come and talk to them. It was probably someone's birthday or something like that, and that provided the occasion. But it was interesting. They reference a number of things in the community happening. The building of the railroad, the first locomotive, Sullivan's grocery store, the church in Dundas, the St. Patrick's, St. Thomas, St. Mary's. They mention a number of families, and so I'm going to use that as my way into Corktown of the 19th century and see what I can find that still exists today, and document that. So, you know, are their homes still available at Tyburn and Catherine, or at Aurora, or on Maria Street, those sorts of things, and try to give voice, or give expression, or give visual image to their story. So that's my new project. I got St. Patrick's Day off in a few weeks. It's March 1st, I'm recording this, so I have just over 2 weeks to get pulled together, and I'm hoping to do a number of 2-minute clips that can stitch together into a 10-minute short film. So that's my new project. I've been busy with family and work for the past week, so I didn't get much done. I didn't get anything done, frankly, on the Bold Street project. So yeah, so that's where I'm at, and we have a number of family events coming up in the next a few weeks. Easter's coming up. We got March break and so forth. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to get to the painting, and I want to try to finally, after 3 years of effort, trying to get something on film in a short film project out to the world. So that's where I am today. Thanks for dropping by, and I hope you found that interesting, and I hope you'll enjoy the short film when it comes out. Take care.